certainly more can be done. We have used social media, we use one-to-one, we have dealt with the group situation, but the bottom line for everything we do is finance. And we can only act to the extent that the finances which we have and the other resources, human resources, will allow us. There are limitations on those resources. And it was thought that it may not have been prudent earlier on to expend too much money and to get into too much of a full-blown campaign too early before the referendum takes place. The intention is to start off slowly, kind of low-intensity campaign, and then to build up the closer we come to the referendum. So that is the game plan, and that is what we have been advised.
Is it safe to say though that you face in that situation, I would say, is that when there's a lack of information, when there's a void, people make their own assumptions.
Yeah.
And we've seen quite a bit of uprising about issues with Guatemala and going to the I.C.J, spearheaded by some of the very people that Isani mentioned. We've seen the issues with the Belize territorial volunteers and the issues in the Chiquibo. So where the case has not been laid forward to the public and we see these issues taking place, for many Belizeans, they have already made up their minds.
Actually, you know, those very incidences have caused people to say, look, let us try to solve it peacefully, because we don't want incidences of these types continuing. And the only way we can, in fact, get some kind of assurance that they will cease is if we have the dispute resolved. So it has not had a negative effect. As a matter of fact, I like the maxim that there is nothing seemingly negative that does not have its positive aspects to it. And every time there is one of these incidents, every time people go on the SAS, and every time people call in and talk about it, there are others who are listening. And if there's one thing I can say about the Belizean people in large measure are very, very intelligent. They do not react in a knee-jerk fashion. They think carefully about what they do, and then they act. There will always be those who will act in a knee-jerk fashion, but the majority of the Belizean people, as a matter of fact, the safety and security of our country to this point in time has largely been due to the majority and good sense of the Belizean people who, when we were really under pressure, came forward in flying colors by making the right decision. And that was so in 1798, that was so in 1981, and I'm sure that is going to be the case when we go to the referendum.